here up top. Okay, you got the Jackie Youngs, the Kelsey Mitchells. That's the Louis Vuitton store. We're replacing Kelsey. We're not replacing it with another Louis V item. Okay, we're not going quite to the bottom.
Their championship window is over, and the WNBA fan base is currently trapped in a dangerous financial illusion. Casual fans look at the Indiana Fever roster and demand emotional continuity, insisting that Kelsey Mitchell receive a $1.4 million Supermax contract. They assume her 20 points per game make her irreplaceable and believe letting her leave would be corporate suicide. But you are not a casual observer. You are a high-level analytical operator who understands the harsh realities of salary caps and boardroom leverage. In modern professional basketball, you never overpay for inefficiency or commit 20% of your salary cap to a player whose style hinders team movement. Welcome back to WNBA Pro, where we bypass public relations spin and examine the brutal numbers. Turn off distractions and focus, because we are about to demonstrate how the Indiana Fever can mathematically replace Kelsey Mitchell, execute a multi-million-dollar financial strategy, and build a powerful, synergistic roster around the franchise leader. The WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement has increased the team's salary cap to $7 million, with the Supermax contract locked at $1.4 million. Kelsey Mitchell is an unrestricted free agent demanding the maximum, and if the Fever comply, the financial consequences could be catastrophic.
Options that we can put together, we can piece together 2 to 3 quality pieces to replace Kelsey Mitchell. She's going to command $1.4 million. I believe the Indiana Fever.
Listen closely to the precise financial warning. This harsh corporate reality must anchor your analysis. Signing Kelsey Mitchell guarantees the destruction of vital perimeter defensive depth and leaves no liquidity to retain elite, synergistic defenders like Lexi Hull. It bankrupts your ability to secure the ultimate emotional enforcer, Sophie Cunningham. You would be building a fragile, top-heavy roster destined to collapse under a grueling 52-game schedule. To construct a multi-year championship dynasty, emotions must be ruthlessly detached from the spreadsheet. You cannot replace 20 points per game with a single expensive player. Instead, you systematically replicate that output through a highly optimized, diversified portfolio of efficient assets. This is the execution of aggregate efficiency, a strategy misunderstood by casual fans navigating the free agency market.
Now, all these people here up top, okay, you got Jackie Youngs, the Kelsey Mitchells. That's the Louis Vuitton store. We're replacing Kelsey. We're not replacing it with another Louis V item. Okay, we're not going quite to the bottom.
Listen to the pure brilliance of this corporate retail analogy. When you lose a highly expensive maximum tier asset, your first instinct cannot be to immediately buy another one. You do not casually walk into the Louis Vuitton boutique and drop $1.4 million on Jackie Young, nor do you blindly max out an aging veteran to appease the emotional demands of the internet. But you also cannot scavenge the clearance racks for unplayable rookies. The strategy is to surgically shop in the highly efficient, undervalued middle class of the WNBA economy. Start by auditing the luxury boutique options, evaluating proven two-way players like Ariel Atkins and Gabby Williams. Atkins is a perimeter assassin and championship-level starting shooting guard, while Williams is a disruptive, versatile defensive force with massive international experience. These elite assets immediately elevate any franchise's defensive floor, but they will command premium upper-middle-class salaries, roughly $750,000 each. Shopping this tier secures elite quality but limits total volume. You could afford Atkins and perhaps one minimum salary bench player for the cost of Kelsey Mitchell. It is a massive defensive upgrade, but does not fully solve the depth issues imposed by the new schedule. To truly maximize the Caitlin Clark stimulus package, the Fever must focus deeper on the efficient middle-class inventory, targeting role players whose tactical profiles perfectly align with a high-powered transition offense. This is the holy grail of the 2026 free agency market.
Probably going to be about half of that based on this, so you could get a Bridget Carlton from in the $600K range, okay? You could probably get Bridget Carlton for the 550, 600K, you probably can land a Bridget Carlton, and she's a
Listen to the pure financial brilliance of this mathematical projection. Bridget Carlton is a highly versatile, intelligent two-way guard with elite size for her position, who operated last season on a modest $125,000 contract. She thrives in the shadows of dominant offensive engines, deferring to star players while still altering the geometry of the court with efficient catch-and-shoot three-point scoring. When Caitlin Clark pushes the pace and breaks the opposing defense, Carlton is perfectly positioned to capitalize, while also providing perimeter defense that Kelsey Mitchell could never offer. The market suggests she can be acquired for roughly $600,000, saving $800,000 in salary cap space while adding a perfect tactical fit. This surplus capital can then fortify the transition offense by adding raw, high-speed perimeter talent like Ray Burrell, a long, explosive wing whose suppressed statistics reflect the dysfunctional environment of the Los Angeles Sparks. Paired with Clark, Burrell's value skyrockets, requiring only full-court passes to generate elite output. Finally, remaining cap space can secure a disruptive interior presence, either a young, athletic prospect like Letitia Amihir or a proven veteran such as Tammy Fagbenle, both of whom perfectly fit Clark's high-speed offensive ecosystem. By combining these acquisitions, the Indiana Fever maximize perimeter shooting, transition speed, and interior stability, executing a mathematically efficient multi-million-dollar strategic overhaul.
Ariel Atkins and a Bridget Carlton, or a Bridget Carlton, Ray Burrell, and a Timmy Fagbenle, 3 for the price of 1 of Kelsey Mitchell. I think you have to look at these things, and I believe it's a move that the Indiana Fever need to look to.
Feel the full force of this corporate calculation, the ruthless blueprint for building a multi-year dynasty in the modern WNBA. The Indiana Fever refused to overpay Kelsey Mitchell and instead acquire Bridget Carlton, Ray Burrell, and Tammy Fagbenle for the same price. 3 highly synergistic, transition-ready players replace one inefficient superstar, instantly rebuilding perimeter defense, adding critical depth for a grueling 52-game schedule, and freeing salary cap space to retain Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are now surrounded by elite, unselfish role players who maximize pace, efficiency, and tactical precision. Top general managers ignore fan pressure and overpriced veterans, executing cold, calculated strategies to dominate free agency. If done correctly, the Fever create unmatched roster depth, making the Eastern Conference mathematically incapable of competing. But cave to fan pressure, hand Mitchell the Supermax, and the championship window closes before it even opens, leaving a fragile, exhausted roster destined to collapse in the playoffs. Every move is watched, every decision carries massive consequences, and only those who understand the underlying mathematics can survive. Welcome to the brutal new WNBA reality, where elite strategy, efficiency, and ruthless calculation rule supreme.